We are a creative species. Inventors, artists, and everyone in between have been constantly creating new ideas since longer than we care to imagine. But what is it that always seems to be the hardest thing to achieve? The idea, the inspiration that kickstarts that light bulb in your head and moves everything forward. Welcome to Art and About Bristol. Here you'll be able to explore the city of Bristol and hear from all the wonderful creatives that it has to offer. Use your mouse to move from interview to interview to discover more about where inspiration comes from. With every interview you watch, you can unlock new effects that allow you to alter your experience for the rest of the film. You also have the chance to unlock different spaces around Bristol that you can visit, and we encourage you to leave it on in the background while you get into your creative groove. What happens now is completely up to you. Whether you stay for minutes or hours, we hope you feel inspired.
My name's Kai, I'm also known as Benji, he, him, and I'm based in Bristol. I'm a singer, singer-songwriter, and a rapper. I also play. And I've been singer-songwritering since I was 7. So that's always been part of my artistry, but it's not really what I put out anymore. I'm more focused on the rap stuff, and obviously rap is quite a broad term, but I try and stay as versatile as I can within that sort of umbrella. So I do grime, drill, garage, hip hop. Worked on a drum and bass track the other day, so we're trying to cover as many bases as possible. I think the things in Bristol that inspire me vary a lot. I think one of the things that's constant is the people. Like, since I've been in Bristol, the people I've met have been a huge inspiration on what I do. But also just like the surroundings. It's such a sick city in terms of like the things that are available to see. You walk down any street and there's art. Conventional art, like, you know, graffiti, or like art in the sense of like the architecture. There's always something to see, and that is super, super inspiring. The spaces that we're in obviously have a huge impact on the art that we put out. The things that work for me, certainly my sort of strategy when I first moved to Bristol, I guess, to try and get my name out there. Open mics, jams, like Bristol is so good for it. Like, there will be an open mic or a jam any day of the week, any evening, and it's just an opportunity where you can go, you can let the music do the talking, and then if people like it, they'll come and chat to you. If people don't like it, they won't. Some of the people that I collaborate with now, I'm in a duo called Lime Soda. The other guy that's in the duo, Matt McKinnon, I met him at the Strangebury Jam on a Monday, and I met so many people through that. But yeah, there's loads of jams, so I definitely recommend that as being like first port of call in terms of trying to get the name out there and network. I'd say that the environment around me obviously is always changing, but it has a huge impact on my role as a creator. If you look at literally almost any verse or any song that I've written, it will mention a space, and often the space that I'm writing in. Like the last single I dropped is called Noted. The first lyric is me and my thoughts as I sit on the bus and I reminisce. That space is like that. It's the first cue almost. When you're trying to think of something, it's the first thing you see. It's like your immediate environment. Bristol, as I mentioned earlier, you've just got so much variety within the city. I'm originally from Cornwall, super rural area. So I used to go for walks. Like literally every day we go for walks. Like as a family sometimes, a lot of the time by myself. And most of the time I come back from a walk with half a song, you know, formed in my head, and I could then write that down. And I think when I first moved to Bristol, I was sort of like, I don't have that anymore because I'm in a city and I can't just step out the door and I'm in nature. I can't do that anymore. But then obviously the more time I've spent here, the more time I've realised that there are spaces where I can do that. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily like directly inspired by nature. So it's not like I'm sitting writing tunes about trees, but it's more like by virtue of the fact that I'm out in nature and I'm walking. Maybe, I don't know, it might be something that I've just come to associate with writing. Like being out on a walk in nature is something I've just come to see as part of that writing process. Like I said earlier, when I first moved to the city, I did have that moment of, I don't have my nature space to work in anymore. I've got to find a new space. And like, I do most of my writing in my room now, to be honest. But even when I'm out walking, like, I don't go for walks as much as I used to back home. It's usually like when I'm in Bristol, it's walking from point A to point B. It's not going on a walk for the sake of going for a walk. But I think in a way, being in a city, it definitely didn't like it, because there's such a variety of experience and so many new people and so many new places. It only added to the sort of bank of ideas that I could draw from, because it's not like I went from being in the countryside to being somewhere where there was no fresh ideas, or being somewhere that was the same. I come to a place which is, like you said, bustling. It's like full of ideas.
My name is Tom Marshman. I use the pronouns he, him, and I'm an artist. I'm a theatre maker and a writer based in Bristol.
Think of me as a friendly stranger.
I make one-person shows. Quite often I collaborate with different people, so there's that historians or archivists, because I'm quite interested in uncovering stories that haven't been told before. But I also use my own story to reflect on other stories, so quite often I work with autobiographical material. In terms of the archives that I work with in Bristol, I quite often work with the Bristol Archive. So recently I got a little commission to uncover stories around the Ashford Court Mansion.